made them yet because I wanted to make sure that I got the latest instructions from the CRIM, which just came about 5 minutes ago.
Oh,
So I'll probably print up like 36 cards. Because we have 35 people, I think, signed up.
well, I was asking Christina how many people we had to turn around, and she says it's probably 10 or 12.
Yeah, they've done a much better job on our neighborhood Facebook page of making those announcements on when you need to be out and all of that good stuff. And I'm going to post something this afternoon asking everybody to be kind to our volunteers at the intersections. They're only there to protect the runner's safety and follow their instructions and all that good stuff. So hopefully it'll be without incident. But
Yep.
Tomorrow the heat index is supposed to be pretty high, as you know. So plan accordingly.
Can we
Yeah,
park across the intersection? Or across?
You can if you want. My only concern is if you put your keys in your pocket and then you go to the restroom and an emergency vehicle needs to get by your car, there's no one to move it. So that is a concern that we're only going to have probably at least 2 people, and I don't mean steal Kyle's thunder, but probably only going to have 2 people at each intersection. So
President Mike is giving a preview of the announcement he's going to give.
stay tuned. I'll repeat it in just a second.
Yeah, that's all we have for today.
Thanks for joining us.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Flint for this today's August 27th, 2021. Our honorary bell ringer for August 27th is children's science author Robert A. Bell, who co-wrote the book, My First Book of Space, which I think I might have had when it was published in 1985. And this is, of course, because our speaker today is our own Kimberly Roddy from the Children's Museum here in our hometown of Flint, and great work they do educating young people on science, amongst other things.
So over to me, Kyle.
Not yet. Nope, that's just a preview of it. He's not the bell ringer today, and we're going to have the bell rung virtually, hopefully. Let's start our meeting off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the
To
flag
the flag
Of the
the
United
United
States,
States of America,
to the republic for
to
which
the
it
republic
stands,
which it
which
stands,
stands,
one nation,
one
under
nation,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty and
liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do.
Is it the truth?
Is it fair to all
Fair to
concerned?
all concerned.
Will it build goodwill and better
Goodwill and
friendships?
better friendships,
Will it be beneficial to all?
beneficial to all concerned.
Today's inspirational message will be delivered by President-elect Elizabeth Jordan. And Elizabeth, not counting, but 10 months. 10 months.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. And today's inspirational message, I actually wanted to draw on a book that I had to read when I was in 5th or 6th grade. It was called Where the Red Fern Grows. And actually, I didn't enjoy the book very much. It was a little too sad at the end for my taste as an elementary school student. But there were some things that stuck with me about it. And if you haven't read it before, it's a story about a boy who lives in the country down south, and he has 2 hunting dogs that he wants to be able to train in order to hunt raccoons. And so the image that really stuck with me from the book was from a part where the boy is going to his grandfather for some advice on how to trap his first raccoon. And so his grandfather told him that what you need to do is you need to bore a hole into a hollow log and then pound into it at an angle nails, and you want to leave enough of an opening that the raccoon can put its paw in, but not take it out. Because he said you need to put a shiny object, like a piece of tin, down in the bottom of the hole, and the raccoon gets curious. It'll reach its paw in, grab onto it, and then find that it's stuck fast. So the boy points out to his grandfather that all the raccoon needs to do in order to escape is to just let go of what's in its paw. But his grandfather pointed out, and it turned out to be correct, that letting go was not in the raccoon's nature. So fortunately, we're not raccoons. We get to decide what to keep and what to release. And for me, I will admit that I struggle with releasing things that have sentimental value. So for example, my table, it's the table I grew up with. It used to be my great aunt's. You know, the chairs are not my personal taste. In some spots, the veneer on the chairs is kind of peeling away. You know, I have the faux pearl necklace from my grandmother. You know, it was kind of ornate, and I could never put it together again if I tried. All the pearls came apart. I can't quite bring myself to get rid of the pearls. And another example, you know, my younger son was a preemie, and so I had saved a whole bunch of his clothes from when he was a tiny little baby. And only recently, only within the last month, did I gift that treasure trove of all the preemie outfits they won to a friend who just had a preemie. And so, you know, at some point, even though I have attachments to these things, there isn't enough to keep it all without feeling cluttered. At some point, my current need for space or an opportunity to give something to someone who needs it more prompts me to reconsider my attachment to the thing. And of course, attachments are not only to things. We grow up with ideas, political ideas, religious ideas, ideas of how we think the world works or how we think people are. And with more experience or exposure to new information or new people, sometimes the ideas we had become too small. Sometimes they don't match the reality of the world. Times change, needs change, we change. We're not raccoons. We can decide what to keep and what to release. We can learn, we can grow, we can bless and release what no longer serves us and our values. So we have the space, the time, and the attention to nurture what does. Thank you.
Great job, Elizabeth. And we did not plan this, but we are aligned. I was in a meeting yesterday talking about leaders needing to work together across different terms of leadership. And so, Elizabeth, your message, which began with how to trap raccoons, fits well with my This Week in Michigan History factoid. And Elizabeth, I know you know who that is on the screen, and all of us who grew up in the 80s, or those of you who had kids or grandkids in the 80s, recognize Splinter, the rat sensei from the Ninja Turtles. So This Week in Michigan History is about dealing with rats. On August 24th, 1915, the state began paying a 5-cent bounty on each dead rat presented to a local clerk's office. The laws written had a 5-rat minimum required, and the catcher had to cut off the rat's head, which was to be kept in good condition. Kids were warned not to carry the heads loosely in their pockets. And 5 cents sounds like a trivial sum, but in today's money, that's actually about $1.35. The head of each rat was to be burned by the clerk. And that law was only repealed in the year 2000. So it's an interesting factoid. And if you've been seeing what's happening in Australia with all the rats they're catching and burning, if they had that law out there, they would be making some pretty good money right now. But that was a funny factoid of this week in Michigan history over 100 years ago, turning in rats to the clerk's office. I think Joel Fike is on. I think Clerk Robertson out here in the township would not appreciate it if we brought rat heads into his office. I think he might have a problem with that. So under announcements, I want to let you know, was able to go and do a walkthrough with past presidents George and past President Mike. Thank you both for joining me at the food bank. I've got some good information to bring back to the board along with the prospective date. We still are on target for a fall think October date with some good precautions. I want to make sure that those are in alignment with what the board wants to do, and we'll be able to announce something probably in a couple of weeks to the club about our return to person meetings at the food bank. Some good news. Thank you for your patience as we continue to work through this process to not only do the right thing for our club, but for the folks at the food bank as well, who we work with on this process. Looking forward to joining what sounds like maybe 3 dozen Rotarians from a handful of clubs early tomorrow morning. Bright, it won't be bright and early, actually. I think Mike was telling us the forecast, it'll still be dark. But Mike Chafee, past president Mike, would you kindly give us an update and any new information that we need for those of us who are volunteering tomorrow with the CREM and Rotary Mile?
Thank you, President Kyle. Yes, we have 36 Rotarians from 4 clubs that have that are going to join us for the Rotary Mile and working the water station at mile marker number 7. Many of you are on the call. Thank you. They've moved up the race time this year in anticipation of a high heat index tomorrow. So when you get to my house, it's going to be dark. So you might want to bring a flashlight, throw a flashlight in your car also. But it is going to be extremely warm. Make sure you're stay hydrated throughout the day. I'll have water for you. But a water bottle, sunscreen, a chair if you so are inclined, if you want to sit at the intersections, that would be great. We're going to start serving breakfast at 5:45 tomorrow morning, or yes, tomorrow morning. So anytime after that, we need to have all of our traffic people in place by 6:20. They want the courses, the roads closed at 6:30. The wheelchair folks start at 6:45. So anticipating about 5,000 runners, I think, tomorrow. So it'd be a little less than what we've experienced in the past, but it should be a good time. Jerry, make sure you wave as you come by the Rotary Mile, and
I'll have a pancake.
there'd be a Bloody Mary for you. So any questions, feel free to give me a call on my cell phone. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow bright and early.
All right, well, looking forward to it. Thank you, Mike, for your leadership, and thank you to the other Rotary clubs in our area who are supporting this great event as well. I do want to just mention, if you didn't get it in the mail, the new Rotary magazine is out. President-elect Elizabeth, you'll want to pay attention to page 63, a preview of the RI convention in Houston next June. There is a beautiful shot of a Joseon Castle Palace, sorry, from South Korea. This will give me great memories of my Rotary Group Study Exchange Program. There are a lot of Joseon Dynasty palaces around the country that have been restored, and seeing that just gave me good memories. But there's some great articles, and please check that out. And also, RI sent out a postcard about the new environment theme, which we've incorporated into our strategic plan as well. And they had a little fun thing that you can plant in your garden or your yard and have some wildflowers. So environment is one of our areas of service across RI now. If there are no other announcements, do we have any good and welfare updates?
Kyle, just a reminder, next Tuesday of the Rowdy dedication and Cal Flynn's celebration.
Thank you. Yeah, I believe it's at 10 a.m. at Mott College, the Lenora Crowdy building dedication. There's also an event later that evening at 6 that I'll be able to attend as well for the Crowdy Center. And then at 2 p.m., I believe, at First Presbyterian, past President Hal Flynn's celebration of life as well. So, yep. Thank you for reminding me of that. If there's no good and welfare, do we have any guests to be welcomed? I'm not sure if I see any, but sometimes there's someone sitting behind. So, hearing no guests, I'll move on to Christina Church, who has become very familiar with introducing guests this month. Thank you, Christina. You've done a great job in August with our speakers as our August chair.
Well,
and
thank you.
I will stop sharing and turn it over to you.
So this is going to be a short and sweet introduction. Most of you probably know Kimberly much better than I do, but I'm excited she agreed to join us today and tell us what's happening at the Flint Children's Museum. So Kimberly, if you are ready, I know when we were in our breakout rooms, it looks like you were maybe had some issues at the close. So I hope everything's going well and just take it over.
Okay, all right. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I turned my monitor off just so that my streaming would be a little bit nicer. So thank you, Christina, for inviting me to do the presentation for Rotary. I'm excited about it and appreciate the opportunity. So I have just a little brief video for you. It's a quick tour of the museum for those who have not ever been there or those who may have not been there recently. So I'll give you a quick tour with the video. And then I'll cover our annual report with you. I'll keep it as interesting as possible. There's a lot of text, but it has some good information in it just about our statistics about how many people visit and things like that. And it's really attractive because Brian Sanderson put it together for us. So I'll just go over those two things and then I'd be happy to answer any questions if anyone has any. So here is my brief video that I put together on Tuesday in just 2 attempts. So forgive me if it's unprofessional or my voice is too squeaky or whatever it is. But here it is. Hey everybody, so here we are at the Flint Children's Museum. Sounds familiar. Our infamous castle turrets and our beautiful building. Even though it's temporary, we are going to have to move eventually. But we're headed in the front doors to give you a quick tour. Here's the front desk. There's Jackie. There's Laura. Hey, you guys. So you come into the museum, they check you in. They tell you how to play safely in the museum. They offer up ice cream and they send you in. So this is the How Things Work area. That is a digital sandbox. We have magnets. This is the science area, the introduction to science. So we have magnets, we have building, we have velocity, we have speed, electricity, simple machines with pulleys. We have people playing here today. Okay, thanks for agreeing to do it. Then we're headed down into Discovery Zone area. So this is the area of the museum that can be changed over. We change it over usually it would be 3 times a year, but with staffing issues and with COVID, it's a little bit different. Right now it's Let's Go. So these people are in the submarine. He's in the hot air balloon. We have the spaceship and we have the tractor. So we look forward to turning that area over. I'm super excited. We talk about it being a chocolate factory maybe, and I think that would be super, super fun. Coming this way, we have the giant light bright. That's relatively new. We've got that in the last probably 3 years. And then we're coming into the performing arts area. So in performing arts, we have percussion and music in a world of sound. We have aerobic sound. And here, each one of the little dots have a different pitch. And you can come over here and change the sound. Hi. He's gonna change it. There you go. So that's pretty fun. We have backstage. There usually is costumes back there, but when you come in, you get 1 costume each because of cleaning. So you can pick out your costume and then perform your show. This area, we have Daisy the dinosaur, that's Hand Shadows, or Daisy the actual dragon. We have Draw Alive, which is a new exhibit. We have the Puppet Theater. So here's all the cute drawings. We put the drawings up there. This one is a new exhibit. We worked hard during closure time to get that all put together and get that up. Then coming around here, this is our health and wellness area, and this is the dental exhibit, which is also new. Got this huge mouth with the crown and with cavities down here that you can turn around. This one has the silver filling, right? You gonna show me? So you can take the filling out. Yep. And oop, now it's got a cavity, right? So there's that. There's the toothbrush. Yep. And there's floss somewhere, and you can climb into it. There's a retractable tooth, so it's got a lot of interactive elements. That's an emerging tooth. We have the climbing wall, which we've had forever. Systems of the body, show the 3 systems of the body. We're coming into our town area. So here is Hotspot. That's a safe space for kids 3 and under, a little bit of a mess because it's the middle of the day. over here, back to our town. So there's Smart Mart, which is a grocery store, is a very, very popular area of the museum. We have some really realistic looking fruits and vegetables. They put them in their cart and then they take them over sometimes to the pizzeria. There's some people playing there. Or they take them over to the house and stock the refrigerator there. Or sometimes they put them in the produce truck. Then over here we have our post office, the veterinarian clinic, and the fire hall. So, and the house, of course. I think I already said that. So, and then you come around and you end up at the museum's gift shop, which looks like it is under construction. It looks like we have a few boxes that are getting a lot of stuff to put up still. And then I will take you, hey, there's one of our friends. I will take you, our door is getting fixed. I will take you outside to Sprout Side, which is our outdoor learning area. The cones are just for the hose because we got to water that front garden. So out here, there's the all edible garden. There's different activities that take place. The mixing lab is there by the greenhouse. There's hula hoops, there's places to sit and relax. These people are working on some sort of project. I'm not sure what though. There's the tricycle wash, so you can take your bike through there and scrub it down. The flip-flop ice cream shop, you can serve up ice cream in there. And then there's a shaded area where you can just sit and relax, the sandbox. And then we have this all edible garden. Oh, and the stop rockets, they love those. I'm surprised nobody's using them. But here is the edible garden. So there's these big, beautiful sunflowers, but there's tomatillos, there's cucumbers, there's green beans and cabbage. Are you going to pick a green bean? No. So you're going for the kale? Yay! Yeah, so there's the kale, there's cucumbers, but those might be gone. Those are hot items. Tomatoes and corn. Our corn's kind of little, but lots of tomatoes. And we got some melons growing there. So we encourage our guests to pick the vegetables while they're here and plant whatever we have in excess. We have a little water table out here for them to plant. The art wall. And that pretty much concludes the tour of the museum for now. So thanks for watching.
So that's that. Bob, I hope you're still awake. Sorry, that was kind of long, but I thought
I
a
am very much
tour of
awake.
the museum would be at least a little interesting.
It was very, very interesting. But is that playground and everything next to the facility?
Yep, it's adjacent to the building. It's connected right to the building.
I've never noticed that, but I tell you, we were in a breakout session with Rotary, and I did not realize that the building that they're in is 30,000 square feet.
Mhm.
That's a lot of museum.
Yes, it is.
And beautifully done.
Cool. So does anyone have any questions about that?
Yeah, I have a question.
For sure, Joel.
Hi, Kimberly. I miss you doing the morning news.
I know.
Years ago, she was a regular on the NBC 25 in the morning show when I was there. My question, at the outset, you said something like the building that we're going to have to maybe move out of. Did I hear that correctly? And what is the status of that? Tell us all you know.
Yeah, so that building was leased to the Children's Museum in 10-year increments into perpetuity unless Kettering wanted it back for some reason. We are currently on our third 10-year lease, which expires in June of 2023. And Kettering has expressed that they don't intend to extend that lease any further. So we are actively and aggressively looking for our next location for the museum.
If you could wave a magic wand, you know, what and where would it be?
We would love for it to be in the city of Flint. We would love for it to be really easily accessible for everyone in the city. We would love for it to be near downtown for things to eat. We need great parking. We'd love to be on the river to educate with water. There's a whole bunch of specifications we would love to have, and that is what we're looking for. But I expect that we will be compromising in one way or another because the specifications are all encompassing. All of the things that we want are really difficult to find within the city of Flint. So we are willing to compromise depending on if we can find the right fit for us.
All righty. And one more question. Would you would have a capital campaign or something in conjunction with that?
Yes, we definitely, and we are preparing. It's really difficult to do the capital campaign without the location specified and without the rendering and the vision. So really what we're trying to do is nail down where it is going to be so we can create that vision and start the capital campaign.
Good luck.
Thank you. I might hit you up for help, Joel. I feel like you've been through it.
Anything.
Really, I wondered, I saw the young person working on the filling in the mouth, and I wondered if that's where past President Ray learned his skills at.
Yeah. Ray definitely helped. Ray helped fund that exhibit. Right, Ray?
I had to unmute. Yes.
Yes, he did.
Actually, that's a fantastic job, Kimberly.
It's beautiful. Thank you for all your help on
It
it.
looks like I'm going to need to keep on helping.
Why do you say it looks like why do you say that?
If you're going to be moving, that's
Right. Yeah. Depending on, and so when we think about the exhibits, like that mouth exhibit, we were very thoughtful about designing it, because if we have a new space and we can do the other half of that mouth, we know that we just are going to fabricate the other half of the mouth if we have the space to do it. So
Okay.
yeah, so when we think about the exhibits, we try, because we need new exhibits, because the museum's been around for 30 years and many of the exhibits are as old as that. And so anything that we buy, we want to make sure that we can take it with us. So
all right. I can
Yeah,
be the
we'll need
consultant with all those teeth.
So I'm trying to share my screen over here. I'll show you briefly the annual report that Brian Sanderson and his team help us put together. I'm gonna stop that one, I guess, and start this other one. Maybe. Okay, I think I have it. So can you see that okay? The Where Dreams Are Born?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So that's our annual report, the cover page of our annual report for 2019, 2020. We haven't done the annual report for this last year. You can imagine that this last year, because we've been closed for 16 months, doesn't look quite the same, but we were on a really good roll prior to. So for 40 years, the Children's Museum has been in the community. We're serving 3 generations of families, and everyone says that they love and adore the museum. Our mission is to explore, or to inspire a lifelong love for learning through exploration and hands-on play. And we do it by encouraging kids to take risks, engaging in imaginative play, and we work to develop their cognitive, social, and emotional and physical skills. Again, over 40 years of serving the city of Flint. We started at the North Bank Center and then moved over to Kettering University, where we've been for going on 30 years, thanks to a benefactor. In the past 2 years alone, in 2019, 2020, we served 120,000 children with about 12 staff between our main location on the campus of Kettering University, at the farmers market, and by going into the schools. So that's a lot of people for just 12 to 15 people. 5 of us are full-time and the rest of us are part-time. We had 900 families join as members, which means they get access to our museum for free all year long, as well as like the Brooklyn Children's Museum, Detroit Science Center, Lansing's Impressions 5, they get discounts there. They get discounts at Sloan Longway. And I mean, even as far as Bermuda underwater exploration, if you happen to be out there, or over in the Philippines, if you're out there. So the memberships are hugely beneficial for the people who purchase them. They're only $75 for the entire family at the Children's Museum. We host a lot of birthday parties pre-pandemic. 378 kids celebrated their birthdays at the Children's Museum. And you see the little quotes. Everyone I talk to says, we love the Children's Museum. So we went and we pulled some of these off of our social media pages, essentially. And we get comments. There's a feedback kiosk in the museum, so we take comments from there too. So they love the Children's Museum. Here you see our board of directors. We do have some updates on that. A couple of people aren't with us any longer, including Becky Garsky and Greg Timmons, but Jocelyn Marinelli and Cynthia Hines have joined our board of directors. So and then you can see our staff. on this page, I really like to talk about, it's been 40 years. It's not just these people, it's people like you guys who are on Rotary. I mean, I don't know how many of you have served on the board of directors for the Children's Museum, but it's everybody's work collectively that has got the museum to where it is. So I definitely give credit to Mary Newman, who is the founder, and everybody else who has served on the board of directors, including Hank, who is a long-term champion of the museum, right? You saw him there fixing our front door. Just at random, I happen to be doing the video and there's Hank, right? So there's a lot of people who have made the museum what it is. The other thing I'm really proud about on this page is our invitation to serve at the Association Children's Museum at the national level, working with the Freeman Foundation on an Asian exhibit design. So we were actually invited and flown out to Washington to advise from a small museum's perspective, how these exhibits, these Asian exhibits could be designed and implemented and put out into small museums, because there are the mega museums like Indianapolis that has millions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of square feet. And they have these exhibits, but there's no way that a small museum like ours could take them in. So we served as just advisory on that, and we're paid $60,000 to do it. So I'm really proud about that accomplishment, or that invitation there. Here is a breakdown of our financials. Year after year, we do better. Even during COVID time, we're in a good financial position, strangely. I mean, we're better this year than we were even in 2019, thanks to PPP funding and some other grant funding. And then on the bottom right, you can see where our total served comes from. Around 40 to 44,000 at the museum. The farmers market location is successful. We're out in the schools in the community. So that's what our last couple of years of operation looked like. Again, last year's gonna look a little different, of course. And then, as you were asking, Joel, what happens next, right? So the biggest thing on my desk is finding the museum a new location, and we are looking at every option, and we have all these wonderful specifications, including ceiling height and weight-bearing load and parking spots and cafe. But we know we're going to have to compromise. We want to stay in the city of Flint, and we are trying to do that. And if anybody has any ideas about vacant property where we can build from the ground up, or a vacant building that would fit 25,000 square feet, give or take, we are totally welcome your ideas for that. Because our time is short, about 2 years to get it all done, though I'm confident Kettering University would extend our lease agreement as long as we are making good effort and progress on our goal. So yeah, you're invited to share your ideas, help us make the dream of our new children's museum a reality. And that's all I got for you.
Kimberly, that was fantastic. You gave us a bit of the history. I remember going to the North Bank Center, I think going down in the basement to the Children's Center back in the day. And then we got a great tour of the president. Thanks to the investigative reporter skills of Jill Fike, you gave us a preview of the future as well. So we appreciate that very, very much. We've had some great questions, but if there's more questions for Kimberly, please unmute yourself and ask away.
Yeah, I have a comment. I think the visuals on your presentation are outstanding.
If you're talking about the annual report, you can thank Brian Sanderson and his team. And I
I know, but he did the great visuals, but you had to do something at the two, work on it. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Jerry. I love you. I love the pictures of the children, right? So I try to make those front and center.
Well, it's laid out. So, I mean, the different angles of things, the colors, the faces, and it's just a lot of thought by an expert, and it's just beautiful. And it makes the point. I mean, you talk about everything so abruptly and simply, and the charts. I mean, I'm a chart person, and they're very easy to read. So it's pretty outstanding.
Thank you.
I got the opportunity to attend the event 2 weeks ago, and it was really nice to see the changes and new exhibits at the museum. It's been there a while since I was there. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you for coming, Dan.
This is Brian Sanderson. When we're back in person, that's $5 in the cup for you for the plug that you already have.
I was
You
waiting
wanna
for
great
someone to
luck.
say it.
Yeah, that's gonna be, just get a Lincoln ready. Together. No,
Wonderful
seriously,
leadership, Kimberly.
Yeah.
Wonderful leadership.
Thank you, Bob.
Really, I loved the video tour that you did. I told you before I want to get Wyatt down there, and just seeing it, I haven't seen it in a while. So I'm excited, and I'm looking for the day when we can come down there. Are there any restrictions right now for visitors?
We do ask that everyone wear a mask still.
Okay, kids
Yep.
included?
Yep,
Okay.
if they can. So our frontline staff is not prepared to navigate those types of conflicts that can come up of that. So what we do is we ask everyone to wear their masks. We understand that the children have a hard time. So if somebody has a hard time, we just ask them to keep 6 foot distance. There's sanitizer and there's alcohol spray. And so we just try to protect the people around them.
Sure.
So if
Alright.
Wyatt can't wear one, that would be okay.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I can put it on him. It's just the question of, well, how long will it stay on? For sure.
Right. Yep. Yep.
You got my attention with alcohol spray. Tell me about that.
Right, he's down in the museum.
JP
Yeah, so-
family membership has just been purchased.
Right, Mike can purchase the membership, just $75. All the alcohol spray you can stand.
Well, if there's no other questions, Kimberly, this has been fantastic. We got to visit the museum today, so this is the first offsite virtual meeting of our club's history. So that was great. Thank you very, very much for the presentation.
My pleasure.
If you this. So thank you to the following Rotarians for your service during our meeting. Elizabeth Jordan for your great inspirational message. Christina Church, once again, a great speaker introduction. Amy Krug, who will be able to do meeting notes since I hit the record button this time, unlike last week, which was a little bit more difficult for her. Thank you, Amy, for your service. And also want to shout out, thank you, Mike Chafee, for your leadership at Rotary Mile. Thank you, Dan Craney, for your support as well. With the Rotary Mile banner, and thanks to all of the Rotarians and family who will be joining us tomorrow morning. Thank you in advance for your service and leadership.
And a
Please join
friendly
us-
reminder, you can record your volunteer hours on WooFoo from our club's homepage.
Yes, thank you, Elizabeth. Please join us next Friday. I made an error in my weekly message. I said 9/2. Next Friday is of course 9/3, the 3rd of September. Because it's Labor Day weekend, we won't be having a virtual meeting, but we will be having a in-person happy hour at Zolo at 4 p.m. on next Friday. For those of you who are at our Memorial Day weekend happy hour, that's where we ended up at Zolo. It's the old Table and Tap. Kind of right across the street from the Capitol Theater, basically. And so look forward to seeing you there if you're in town. If you're not going out of town for the holiday, we'd love to kick off the weekend raising a cold beverage with Rotarians. Please remember to serve to change lives as you go about your work this weekend and into next month.
President Kyle,
Oh, yes.
please don't
Yeah,
forget
yeah.
that the Crowdy grand opening is Tuesday, the 31st at 10 o'clock.
Yes, yep. We mentioned that during announcements, but that's another great reminder as well. We have the Crowdy grand opening on Tuesday at 10 a.m. We have Hal Flynn's Celebration of Life at 2 p.m. at First Pres on Tuesday. And then some of us will be together at the Crowdy Center later Tuesday evening as well. Now I'm going to push the button. Thank you very much. Our meeting is adjourned. Please enjoy your day, be safe, and we'll see you hopefully in person tomorrow morning.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great weekend. Jerry, are you still with us? No, you left. I just wanted to find out if he was running.
He is. Yeah, he said he is. Yep.
He is running. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'll miss him.
All right. See everybody.